All right, ladies, who doesn't want to hear about getting rid of belly fat? I think all of us women who are in midlife are experiencing some extra weight around the midsection. And this can happen to any woman. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. You could be 110 pounds your entire life, and you hit perimenopause, and suddenly you start packing on weight in your stomach. So, we are going to be getting into the belly fat and exactly how we can target that. Not only that, we're also going to start to talk a little bit about reverse dieting and just kind of what is the best diet right now for, middle-aged women. Are we harming our bodies? Are we harming our metabolism by doing some of these extreme diets? And with me today are two experts on the topics of reverse dieting and belly fat and metabolism. And that is Ann and Anoop Asok, which are both Canadians, we've just realized, just a few hours from me, which is very exciting. And they are both dedicated professionals with a background in nursing and a passion for holistic health. Anne had her struggles with hormonal imbalances and emotional eating. She discovered the transformative power of the Metabolic Mastery Method. With over a decade of experience as registered nurses in the ER, ICU, and dialysis, and certifications as personal trainer and fitness nutritionist and holistic female hormonal health practitioner, they empower women going through perimenopause to eat what they want without sabotaging results. Their mission is to empower clients to achieve optimal health and wellness by learning to nourish their bodies without restriction or fear, which it just sounds right up our alley. All of the listeners are going, "Yes, please tell me about this." So welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you for
much.
having
And
us.
thank you so much for that amazing introduction. That was great.
Yeah, well, I love both of your guys' background. You have medical backgrounds, and now you've gone into this more functional space. And so I really want to hear, how is it that you guys went from going from being nurses in an ICU and ER to where you are and what you're doing now?
Yeah,
So maybe,
absolutely.
yeah, and you start, and then Anoop, I want to hear your side too.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have a medical background. We've seen it all when it comes to the acute side of things. We experienced it all when it comes to the acute side of things as well. Because personally, for me, I struggled with having PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is one of the leading causes of infertility in women and things like that for 15 plus years. And I really struggled with it. I was put on birth control year after year, and I kept wondering, oh my god, why are my hormones still out of whack despite of me going on birth control, having all the cystic acne on my face. That again, I struggled with in starting my mid-teen up until I was 30 years old, which was like a couple of years ago. So my entire 20s was completely gone. I was really shy, didn't want to date anyone because I thought, who wants to date someone who has ton of acne on their face? I'm giggling at this point, but then
Yeah,
back
because you're
then
beautiful,
thinking
just
about
so
it,
you
I
know.
was thank you. Thinking about it, I caught myself looking in the mirror so many times and just saying negative things about myself just because the way I looked. And also I also wrecked my gut bacteria. That's another thing, because
Mm.
I was in this lifelong cycle of restricting my food, restricting so many calories, doing a ton of workouts that really impacted the way my tummy is supposed to work. That was completely gone. I was put on pantoprazole and other medication that is going to help with digestive enzymes and juices and things like that, so that I do not end up ER like I was doing pretty much on a monthly basis for pain control, and IV medications and things like that. So, I mean, I had a very rough 10, 15 years. So, when I say I saw the acute side of things, I really mean it. I experienced it
Mhm.
all, and I knew there was a better way, but I didn't really knew like which road to take, because there's so much information out there when it comes to weight loss and healing your PCOS and healing your infertility. Because I remember 12 years ago when the doctor said that I could never conceive, never have a baby because I had multiple cysts on my ovaries and my estrogen and progesterone and everything is out of whack and there is no way I can even get out of birth control. You know, one day just thinking about it, my head blew up because isn't that scary, Karen?
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
someone tell you that you
That's
cannot have a
horrible.
baby as a woman, that's what we want, right? At least most of us want.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when this guy showed up in my life, I was really hesitant to date him because I thought, who wants to marry someone who cannot bear children?
Wow.
That thought was so scary. And one of the reason why I got into let me dig deep into this. I know there's a solution. So let me do the digging, which I did, which is what helped us develop what we call the Metabolic Mastery Method now, to really help out the woman who's struggling with hormonal imbalances and
Hmm.
slower metabolism because of years of dieting they've done to themselves in the past.
Hmm.
Really empowering them to show them that it is possible. You don't have to live this way so that you can have the energy to play with your kids. You can have babies if you want to have them. You can put an end to the endless dieting reward punishment cycle with food that you put yourself into, and learn to eat food guilt free.
Yeah,
The reason why
and
we
and you
started.
have a child, do you not now?
I have two, not just one,
Two.
two. That one doctor said I could never have.
Did you
So
go to the doctor's office and show him your children? Like put them in front of his face? What is this?
I know, right? I wanted to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
I say this out loud so that everyone hears me nice and loud and clear that let not the doctors define what you want to do with your life. Not just
No.
doctors, let anyone define what you want to do with your life because it's absolutely possible. And we want to empower more women who's going through the exact same scenario, and hence we are here today.
Hmm.
And hopefully
Hmm.
give you some information and value. So that's my story of why we started this method.
That would have just made me so like I can't even believe a doctor would say that to you, but I know it happens every day where medical doctors are saying really horrible things to people. And it's just like you're going to tell a woman, "Oh, you can't have children." Sorry. Like that to me is just malpractice. Like that's so bad.
Yeah.
And they obviously know nothing about PCOS because it is reversible.
Mhm.
So that just it's super frustrating. I really feel sorry for you that you had to go through that because that's not fun. But if you hadn't gone through it, you wouldn't be where you are right now, which is why you're
Exactly.
here. So that's
Yeah.
always a good thing that we go through these struggles. And now you're trying to educate other women that, hey, you can actually overcome this and you can possibly get pregnant. And also, an interesting thing, too, that I heard you say there was I was on birth control pill and I couldn't understand why my hormones didn't get better. How many women are put on birth control pills thinking this is going to correct my hormonal imbalances, but it doesn't. It's a band-aid and it's shutting down your own hormone production. It's not getting to the root of the problem. I just had a woman today contact me saying she's in her 50s
Mhm.
and she's on an IUD birth control, and her doctor is insisting she keep that in to
Mhm.
correct her hormone levels and to help her get through menopause.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're putting a fake progestin into your body, which we know from the research increases your risk of breast cancer.
Yep.
Bioidentical hormone replacement therapy does not increase your risk of breast cancer. And those are hormones. They are exactly the same as our hormones. Birth control is not hormones. And I just want every woman to hear that because we're all under that assumption that, oh, birth control is hormones. It's not. When you look it up, they're chemical disruptors, endocrine disruptors, which means they are disrupting your hormones. They're
Exactly.
not your hormones. So just want to just put that out there. And then for you, Anoop, so you still have your nurse's license.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and now but you also wanted to get into this field. Is it just through your wife that you were like, oh, I need to help her and get passionate about this, or did you have a passion for it?
In my case, I was always underweight. I always struggled with being underweight since my teenagers. And there was like a whole lot of health issues being underweight. And I've been like really struggled and been like thin all the time, but still had a belly fat. So
Mm,
when people when they see a thin person, or a generalized idea is basically like, oh, they are thin, they are healthy, but a thin doesn't really mean healthy.
right.
That could mean a lot of things. That could also mean that you're unhealthy, even though you're thin. And it's really, people don't look at you that way. When you're thin, they always think, hey, you look good. You're thin. You're fine. You're doing great. But that's not always the case. I've been like, I used to go and see doctors for sickness. Like could be anything. It could be like a simple cough or whatever. But I was just getting sick at least once in 2 months, or sometimes every month. And I struggled with that quite a lot. And then I was like, but I used to work out like crazy. I used to work out like an hour and a half to 2 hours, 5 times a week, but still had struggled with that belly fat. And even being nurses, we know how body works and everything, but still didn't know much about how to get rid of that belly fat or how to get healthy. If I was trying to eat more food, I was just getting my belly fat more put on, rather than
Right.
just getting into a good health, or health wise.
Yeah.
Then I worked with dietitians and nutritionists and everything, but basically what they were doing was basically putting me on a meal plan, and I didn't want to be on a meal plan because like that was not the food I wanted to eat. I'm from India. I'm from South India. My usual diet is basically a lot of spicy, fried foods and everything, but they were changing that entirely my eating habits, and I didn't like it. So obviously I didn't stick on to that for long, and then when I stopped those dieting patterns and came to my food, I basically gained all those weight back, or my tummy fat problem got worse, and I didn't know what to do. So basically, I learned nutrition basically to find out what's happening. Like I was really thin person, but still struggled so much with this belly fat for so long, and I didn't know
Hmm.
what to do. So that was one
Hmm.
of the main motivation why I started to kind of look into nutrition aspect. And once I started to learn, I was like, hey, there's so much information, and I was like really interested it, and I implemented on myself, and I was like, this is awesome. And like you don't have to be, I mean, like you should never be on a meal plan. Like if most of them, they won't be able to be on that meal plan
Yeah.
forever. It's
Yeah.
like if you can't be on something forever, why would you do it? Because like when you
Yeah.
stop it, whatever you're going to lose, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
You'd rather fix your issue or fix that habit, or whatever is happening, how to change it, or learn how to do it. It's kind of a learning process, but once you learn it, it's so easy. And once you get into that, your goal weight and the maintenance is so easy that basically you can do whatever, and it's not
Hmm.
going to change much. It's going to not affect your results. So
Hmm.
that was the main thing I learned, and that was the motivation.
I'm really glad that you said that because I actually never have talked about in this podcast. It's been going for years. We've got over 300 episodes. I've never actually had anybody come on to talk about skinny fat,
Mm.
which is what you were. That's what you're saying you were, right? Where you
Oh
have
yeah.
the visceral fat, but yet you're really skinny and you're having a hard time putting weight on and you were unhealthy. Your immune system was clearly suffering. And you're right. People just assume when they see somebody thin, oh, well, they don't have an eating problem. They're healthy. They don't have anything to worry about. And on the inside, that's not so much the case because belly fat, as we know, is the worst kind of fat to be having for our health. Um, Tell us a little bit about that, you guys. Like what is bad about belly fat? Why are we getting belly fat in midlife?
Yeah. So belly fat is clearly the indicator that something is going wrong with your body and your metabolism. So most of the people who has belly fat will end up having some kind of metabolic disorder in the future, right? Like diabetes or high cholesterol or hypertension and things like that. Now,
Mhm.
when we are looking into the midlife part of things, so when I'm saying midlife, I'm referring to women over the age of 35. It used to be like 40 and up, but because of our lifestyle and everything, it's been pushed lower and lower.
Yes.
Now it has
Yeah.
come to 35. And so what we can see in age 35 and up is a sudden redistribution of fat. You know, all of a sudden, I don't know how many women has come to us and said, and all of a sudden I have this belly pooch. You know,
Mhm.
I didn't have this like 5 years ago, and now I have it, and don't really know how to work around with it. I've tried diets in the past. I've tried a lot of diets: keto, intermittent fasting, paleo diets, low carb, fasting for 2 days, no food, no water, nothing. People go and do extreme things like this, and I'm sad. It's because
Mhm.
they're doing it because of lack of information. Just imagine if
Mhm.
they had the right kind of information, and if they had the amount of motivation they had to do that kind of diet, how much results would they achieve with the right kind of information and implementation, right?
Mhm.
So coming down to the belly fat again, so this fat redistribution is what happens over the age of 35 and up. And there is no one clear scientific reason of why this happens, but the speculations are saying that your estrogen and progesterone go in flux. Once you cross that age, you're probably entering into that perimenopause territory. Even though you think, you can argue, no, my periods are fine, I'm not having any missed irregular periods or missed periods or anything, I'm not perimenopause. Periods is just one symptom telling you that you could be in perimenopause, right?
Mhm.
There's an array of 50 different symptoms that happens that could tell you, and one of those is this belly fat that tends to accumulate over the age of 35. Now, this belly fat will not go with restrictive diet and over exercising, because what you're building is visceral fat, which is driven by hormones, metabolism, bloat, inflammation, and things like that. So a strategy has to be pinpoint towards decreasing the amount of fat percentage or visceral fat that you have. And one way to do that is actually learning or retraining our body on how you can burn more calories at rest. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
we use 3, 4 different strategies for women coming in with belly fat over the age of 35. And one important thing is burning more calories at rest. Because just think about it. When we are in our 20s, in our teenage years, we don't really have any belly fat. Even though we eat like crap, we still
Mhm.
have a flatter tummy. And one difference we have now versus then is that the amount of calories we burn at rest now is so much more decreased. And it is because of the lifestyle factors that are contributing, like your stress, cortisol, which we will talk sometime.
Mhm.
Sitting around, not moving enough, or moving more than you should be, right? And another factor that is very particular to perimenopausal women is shifting in the estrogen, progesterone, and dipping in that testosterone levels. The reason why I bring up the testosterone level is because muscle is a metabolically active tissue. And the more muscles you have, the faster your metabolism is going to be. So during that perimenopause, unfortunately, the testosterone level is going to drop even more, meaning we are going to not have enough muscle to have a faster metabolism, right? So which brings me to the second step that we look at is, or implement, is how we can maximize our overall muscular strength, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Did you know, people that are listening, you probably know this, is that every pound of muscle you add, your body is going to burn approximately like 50 calories or more a
Oh,
day.
I didn't know that.
Okay, yeah, while you are at rest. Okay,
Wow.
so if we crunch some numbers, okay, so just think about it, just adding 2 pounds of muscle to your body, you will burn additional 700 calories per week at rest, meaning not moving around, meaning you're improving your resting metabolic rate. Okay,
Wow.
now I want you to look at long term. Okay, in a
Mhm.
year, by just sitting around and having more muscle is going to help you burn 12 pounds of fat
Right.
just by changing your body composition, right? And you don't have to, like, people doing cardio and like intense hit and things like that for hours and hours, you're really working against your body, especially when you're in perimenopause. Strength training, you can do cardio. I'm not really advocating against cardio. If that's something that you love, you should absolutely continue doing it. But I would recommend like implementing some kind of strength training to preserve that muscular mass that we are tending to lose because of our age.
Mhm.
So 20 minutes of strength training, 4 to 5 days a week. You don't need to do it too much either, right? Is how we implement this step with to our clients. Which actually brings me to, because this is all interconnected. Step number
Yep.
3 is exercising effectively, not intensely. Those two are
Oh.
two different things, right?
Yep.
Because as you age, the type of workout you do is going to become more important than how much you work out, right? Because again, we need to take into consideration that when we think about women over the age of 35, we have kids, right? We
Hmm.
have a high, whatever, busy lifestyle with work and endless to-do lists, or stress is like chronically up there.
Yep.
Cortisol is like chronically elevated, which automatically slows down your metabolism. So let's say if you tell me, okay, I don't have kids, I don't have a stressful life, I'm just staying home doing my thing, okay, even if you have time, who wants to spend 2 hours a day on a treadmill every single day? Don't tell
Yeah.
me that you love to do that. Okay, so just imagine that with just 20 minutes of effort per day, without even leaving your house, you can burn as many as calories as a 60 to 70 minutes of a cardio session can do to you. And the other interesting thing about is also going to speed up your metabolism and improve that resting metabolic rate. That is eventually what is going to help you reduce that belly fat, not doing 500 crunches. Okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I want people to understand this and grind this to your head so that you understand this concept. Please do not overdo the exercise part, because it's only 10% of your results, right? 10 to 20, let's say. Let's give it a little bit more to exercises. 10 to 20. The
Yeah.
rest 80% is going to come from nutrition, which is what the fourth step is all about. Like further preventing the fat deposition in the belly area that we are removing with the exercise, right?
Right.
How can we do this? Can you help them
So,
understand?
like you got a flat belly, great, but especially due to the hormones and everything, and if you're over the age of 35, you're gonna have fat deposition happening around your belly area, unless you optimize your nutrition. So, Karen, just think about it this way: if I tell you to walk, if I tie like 20 pounds or 20 kilos or something like that to your arms or your legs, and if I tell you to walk like a mile, it's gonna be really difficult for you, right?
Hmm.
And but the same 20 pounds, if I tie it around your tummy area, and if I tell you to walk the same mile, it's going to be comparatively easy, right?
Yeah.
So same thing, that's the exactly same thing body does. It's easier to store weight around your tummy area
Right.
without hindering your, because it doesn't hinder your day-to-day activities. You can still
Right.
move around comparatively okay even if you have belly fat. So
Hmm.
that's exactly body does. So if the body has excess fat to store, it goes to belly area to store it. That's the number one place it goes, because it doesn't hinder your movements, it doesn't hinder your day-to-day
Ah,
activities. So because of the same reason, it's going to be really difficult to lose belly fat, because that's the last place body is going to take the fat away from. You lose fat from all around the body before you lose that last bit of belly fat. And that's the science, that's how it works. It doesn't matter who you are, that's how it's going to work. That's the way body works. So preventative is really important to avoid that. And nutrition, like optimizing your nutrition is really important. So one thing I always tells our clients is work to make your dinner smaller. So unfortunately, because of our work and everything, like most of us get more time at like in the evening or at night. So we get home from our work, we are really tired. Probably we didn't eat much breakfast or lunch, and we probably had really unhealthy food or whatever. And we get home, we have time to cook, and that's when we sit down, watch TV, and eat food. And most of the time, we tend to eat a lot of food, a
hmm.
lot more than what we actually need, because food is not just for hunger; it's comfort as well.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
tend to use food as comfort, especially at night, and we tend to eat a lot more. So this the walking thing I explained before, that applies here. Whenever you have like a really heavy dinner, unless you're like running a marathon or working out heavy after your dinner, your body wouldn't be able to use that much calories. And
No.
body doesn't use that much calories. The only thing body knows is basically use it for further use. It's going to convert it into fat. That's the only way body can store a lot of energy for future use. It's going to convert into fat, and where it's going to go, it's going to go directly to your belly area, because that's the easiest place it can store fat. So
Right.
making your dinner lighter is like really important. It goes a long way to kind of preventing that belly fat deposition from happening. And
Yeah.
because of that, we've been eating a heavy dinner for like ages, and that's been our food habit, and changing that habit is going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort and consistency.
Mhm.
So it's a slow process. Say like from tomorrow onwards or anything, just start by increasing or decreasing your dinner by 50 calories or so, or 100 calories or so. It can be a slice of a bread that's almost like 100 calories. So you can just decrease it by that, and that's a starting point. But another thing is that you're going to be hungry when you are decreasing your dinner all of a sudden. So try and replace that 100 calories with like salads or something if possible, or more veggies if possible. That way you're not hungry, because fiber or veggies, those are like really satiating, so you're gonna feel more fuller even though you're not packing in much calories. So it goes a
Mhm.
long way to preventing that belly fat. The another thing is your snacking. Like again, because you're working, you're really busy, you don't really have time to eat proper food, so you end up snacking a lot. And whenever you're eating snacking or like unhealthy foods or like fried foods or whatever, or high sugar foods, what happens is it get digested really fast. And whenever a food get digested really fast, and most of the snacks are considered as a simple carb,
Right.
even if you're eating a fruit, that is considered as simple carb. So whenever you eat a simple carb, what happens is it gets digested really fast, and you get a sugar spike in your blood. And whenever you get a sugar spike, since your body is not going to be needing that much energy, it's gonna a portion of that is gonna get converted to fat and deposit. So even
Mhm.
though tiny, that adds up, because you've been doing this for a really long time, and you're probably going to continue to do that for a long time, because it's easy to snack, especially at work. So
Mhm.
if I say you shouldn't be snacking, or you have to eat really really healthy foods, it's easy to say, but that's probably not going to happen. So what, you can basically eat the same food like chips, donuts, or whatever. You can still eat it, and but to make it healthy, or to decrease the rate of fat deposition happening, what you can do is have protein with it. Like
Right.
like it's simple to say have protein with it, but like it's actually easy to do as well. You can have a mason jar full of nuts at your workplace, and you can have that donut, but then munch on a handful of nuts.
Mhm.
That's a lot of protein. It has a lot of fat, but it has a lot of protein as well, and it's good quality protein and good quality fat. So even though you're eating the same donut, you're not going to get a sugar spike compared to eating a donut with some nuts with it. Even though you're eating more food, that doesn't get deposited as fat, or as it doesn't get as much deposit as fat compared to eating that just that donut alone. So those
Mhm.
things goes a long way preventing tummy fat.
Nice. Yeah, and I find too, like, even just telling somebody to be protein forward and be like, don't change anything else in your diet. Keep eating the way you're eating. Don't be restrictive.
Mhm.
Just simply increase your protein and make sure you eat protein at each of your meals.
Yeah.
People will always come back and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm just like, I'm not eating. I don't want the donut as much anymore. I don't want the cookies. I don't want the chips. I'm more satiated. I'm staying full for longer." And so, just that one tweak of increasing protein, I feel like can do massive amounts for people. Don't
Absolutely.
you guys find that?
I don't know how many people have come to us with, oh my God, Ann, Anoop, we've been yo-yo dieting for 5 years, 10 years. My cravings is all over the place. I even put candy in my dashboard in the car because I think I'm hypoglycemic because I get,
I used to
passing
do
out
that. Yeah.
episodes and things like that. And
Yeah.
then they come into the coaching. We teach them this one simple thing. Start implementing it from today. Within like a week, it doesn't even take that long, you guys. Okay, our bodies are so adaptable and it changes so quickly too. So within
Mhm.
like a week or so, the cravings that they had for 10 years, if they had it at rated it at 10 on 10, is now a 1 on 2, 1 or 2 on
Right.
10. That's how much it will might have got have decreased in just 1 week or 10 days. Okay, just
Mhm.
imagine what your body can do if you repeatedly did these small things that you might think is not going to make a big difference over and over again. And your result is going to be like a compounded effect of the small habit changes that you're making on a daily. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about implementing consistently.
Just following this simple habit changes, if you're able to do it, then basically you're eating more food, and pretty much the same food that like before, but you're gonna, like I said, you can eat more food and still lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when on your guys' website, you have all these before and after pictures of people that have worked with you guys in the metabolic mastery method. And you state like this person was eating X amount of calories when they were overweight, and then now they're eating more calories
Yeah.
and they've lost weight. Which
It's
for
crazy.
people, that's so hard to wrap their head around, but it's
Yeah.
so true. It's just because they've swapped out some
Mm-hmm.
of these carbohydrates, these fast acting carbohydrates in the blood, in the system for protein.
Mm-hmm.
And psychologically, I feel like that does, like you said, and like you're not telling somebody to restrict. You're just saying eat more of these foods and see what happens. And so psychologically, people can really get on board with that because as humans, we are drawn to pleasure and we resist pain in every way, shape, or form. So if you're telling someone, follow this meal plan, be restrictive, count your calories, don't eat more than this, go exercise, it's a matter of time before their brain goes, I'm suffering. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go eat the cake.
Yeah.
And so psychologically, when you tell somebody, no, no, you know what, go ahead, keep eating that donut. But I just simply want you to eat it with protein.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whenever they start with the diet, or meal plan or a really restrictive diet or something like that, the first thing they'll be looking for will be, hey, when is going to be my cheat day?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
always like the go-to, or the first
I
question they're
hate
like, hey, when is
that.
going to be my cheat day? Is it going to be once a week, or is it going to be twice, once in 2 weeks, or how is it going to work? Like, how can I eat my food on those days? Like, how many days I can eat my food? But like, if I tell you you can eat your food, you don't have to restrict anything. Basically, eat more food, and you can still lose weight. Most of them are happy. I mean, like, most of them don't believe it, because like
Yeah,
the only thing they know is basically cut your food. Don't eat the food you want. You just eat really really healthy, or like decrease the amount of calories you're eating. But then, how much can you decrease? Like, you have a lot of weight to lose, and how much can you cut? You keep cutting, yeah, fine, you're losing weight, you feel great, and you cut more, and that it's kind of a cycle. It keeps going, and then there'll be a point where some of our clients were, before they joined our program, they were eating like 600 calories. Can you imagine 600 calories? An adult person was eating 600 calories. Like, what could they what how could their normal body would function normally? Like, it
yeah.
can't function with 600 calories, or less than 1000 calories. It's going to be really really struggle. And what about their hormone health?
Mhm.
It's everything is going to be messed up. And
Everything. Yeah,
even at 600 calories, that person wasn't losing weight,
They were gaining
they
weight
were
actually.
gaining weight.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a
yeah,
point where you hit a plateau, cutting your calories. You're gonna hit a plateau. You're not gonna lose weight, and that's gonna stay for a while. And even if you're staying at 600 calories or such a low calorie, there'll be a point when you start gaining weight, even at
yeah.
that such a low calorie, because your body has adapted. It has reset your metabolism, because your metabolism has been messed up so much at that point that you basically start to gain weight. And where
Mhm.
would you go next?
Yeah, exactly. You can't keep going lower. I was there at one point in my early 30s after having my baby, and no matter what I did, how little I ate, how hard I worked out, I just kept gaining weight, and I did go down to like 800 calories at one point just to try and see like, is this like, do I have to literally become an anorexic to be able to lose weight? Nope, still kept gaining. And it was all hormonal and stress and toxins. And, it was I took a long time to recover my body from that, from the damage that I caused it from working out so hard and starving myself and trying all these crazy diets. And so do you guys get like, the last few years, it's been the keto craze, lots of intermittent fasting. What have you guys been seeing in your practice? Like these women, are they coming to you really metabolically broken from a history of this crazy yo-yo dieting? Are you seeing it a lot?
Especially when they do some kind of a really restrictive diet, and
Mhm.
like And obviously they won't be able to do that forever. So after most of them will stop it after a couple months, or very rarely some people will do like an year, or very rare sometimes might they stretch for like a 2 year mark.
Yep.
And yeah, like during that time they feel great, they've been losing like ton of weight. They upload
Yeah.
the pictures, there's amazing transformation, and really fast as well. But obviously at that when they stop it, everything's going to come back, sometimes even more. And
Mhm.
when they stop, it's not only that you're gaining back so much of weight, you have done like irreversible damage to your organs, for some people because of their diet. And your metabolism is like really messed up, it's really damaged. And
Mhm.
uh, after a couple months of them stopping that kind of diet, they would know that, hey, there's something wrong with it's pretty my metabolism is kind of messed up. It's not like normal anymore. And
Mhm.
most of them, when they come to us at that stage, they kind of know there's something going on with your metabolism. It's not supposed to be working as normal. And especially if they're above 35, females especially, because of their hormonal imbalance happening because of all that restrictive diet they've been doing. um, it's like they're more grumpy. They can feel the difference, because the hormones has been messed up so much. First of all,
Mhm.
they're in the perimenopausal phase even earlier than they should be. And
Yep.
because of that restricted diet and hormonal imbalance, basically they don't have enough energy. They are just grumpy, especially with kids then that they see. And they genuinely want help.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so when we start with it, it's usually we work with metabolic mastery method. That's what we start with. And basically we improve their metabolism. We don't concentrate on their weight or anything at that point. That's the first phase we go, because that's your basis. You have to
Right.
build upon that. So getting your metabolism back up and running is really important. Like Ann said earlier, basically getting a good metabolism, it'll burn more calories than working out, like basically working out really heavy.
Right.
It can, and you're basically burning more calories at rest, doing nothing, just to your day-to-day activities. And you can basically eat really more food and not gain weight, rather than some people eating 600 calories and still gaining weight. And the same person, if they have worked up their metabolism really good, they can basically eat 1200 calories or whatever their BMI is. And they can basically they can still stay at their current weight or lose weight, even though they're eating pretty much double the amount of calories they were eating before. And that's the beauty of metabolic mastery, because
Mhm.
improve your metabolism is really important.
Another thing like gets really messed up while he was talking about it was also your hunger stopping cues, all
Mm.
that get disrupted so bad with eating all these hyper palatable food. That system we have in our place with our brain and mind is completely disrupted. So like we have seen many people coming to us and say like, when we ask them, hey, why are you eating 600 calories, right? So they say, well, I started that to lose weight, and it's been going on for like an year and a half now, and now I'm not hungry anymore. So that signaling, that hunger signaling, that your body, that's your body's normal response, right? You see a great food, you smell the food, you feel, oh my God, I'm hungry, I want to eat it now. But that signaling is disrupted. Just think how dangerous that is.
Mhm.
If your
Mhm.
system has gotten to that point, right? And another
Right.
side effect of is also that you cannot stop eating food. That's another end of the spectrum, because your
Right.
appetite suppressing hormone is also disrupted, because now it is resistant to the suppressing hormone because of the amount of fat cells that you have, the visceral fat cells that you have in your body. So that is another thing that we've seen with chronic dieting history that women come us to with. And like, as Anu mentioned, like resetting their metabolism and not thinking about the weight is going to be what we concentrate on in the first few weeks of coaching.
Mhm.
Once they are ready, then we move on to, okay, now your body is ready, now your hungers are back up and normal, your hormones are online and it's supposed to be doing what it is supposed to be doing. Let's now concentrate on the fat loss. Otherwise it's
Mhm.
not going to be sustainable, the results that you're going to get if we skip that step.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that in my practice too. The woman that's like, I've been eating 1 meal a day for a year and a half, and that's all I need to eat. I'm not hungry. It's like, this is good. And, she's averaging whatever, 600, 800 calories a day in one meal in her little eating window. And she starts gaining weight. And she's like, oh, oh, I better now do a 2-day fast. Oh, now I'm going to do a 5-day fast. And so they think that they just have to do it harder to
Mhm.
so that they stop gaining weight, and and then it just ruins it even farther. And then I've seen that other spectrum of somebody that's, yeah, can't control their hunger. When they do eat, it's like they're overeating, and they're like anything they can get in their mouth, 'cause they're coming off of a fast, and they're just like, give me all the food. And it's not healthy food because they're starving. And so I've seen both of those that you guys are talking about a lot. Now, when people come in and they're in this state where they need this reverse dieting, do you guys like slowly increase calories, or is it just like, let's just throw them to the wolves, like let's just get their calories up? Or how do you guys, what's your method?
So we have to be really careful depending on what kind of diet they have done before,
Right.
and like how been like what's their eating patterns. Like all of a sudden we cannot tell a person who was eating 600 calories or so to eat like 1,500 calories. That's going to be crazy. Uh,
Hmm.
like physically they probably wouldn't be able to do it. Even if they were able to do it, they're gonna gain a ton of weight. They're gonna not gonna feel great.
Hmm.
Basically, I have heard that people even get nauseous when they're trying to eat a lot of food all of a
Hmm.
sudden, and
I've heard
obviously
that.
that's not going to be healthy. There's going to be a high amount of fat deposition happening, and that's what people get scared at, because like they don't want to gain a lot of weight, and that's going to happen if you're going to um, increase your food all of a sudden. You have to do it methodically, little by little. Like it can be as simple as just a 100 calorie difference. You probably won't even notice. Like I said, like a slice of bread is almost 120 calories, depending on the brand of obviously. But it can be as simple as increasing it 100 calories, and you wouldn't be able to notice. You don't have to change any of your food patterns. Just increase that by 100 calories, and that's one step. And you do it slowly depending on how you are doing. And
Hmm.
again, some people they'll do such like 600 800 calorie, and then they work out like 2 hours or 1.5 hours, but and really heavy cardio. Whenever you're doing such heavy cardio for like an hour or more, you're basically losing more muscle mass. So
Hmm.
for your fat cells to convert to glucose for your energy, it takes more than I think it's like an hour and a half or more. That's the duration it takes. But for your from your muscles, it stores glycogen as well, and for that to convert to your sugar, it's way easier. It just takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so. So basically you're going to lose your muscle mass whole lot more whenever you're doing such kind of a really low calorie diet and workout heavy, rather than losing your fat. So you lose more muscle mass than fat, and then your metabolic rate goes down more. So you have to take whenever you're refeeding, you have to look into consider how much of fat you have, how much of muscle mass you have, and what kind of diet you did before, and what kind of food patterns you were eating, and then slowly introduce it. I mean, you are probably gonna gain a little bit, but it doesn't really have to be a lot, like a lot of pounds or whatever.
Hmm.
It can be minor, and especially when you're introducing whole foods to the mix, and like eating protein first, a scenario like that. The first 1 or 2 weeks you might gain a little bit, and then it'll kind of start to even out. Then you bend basically when you start introducing bit more workout depending on how they are doing, like a bit more weight training and into the mix. And after that first 2 weeks or so, you probably wouldn't even gain weight. Either you are going to stay at your current weight even though you're increasing your food, or at times you're doubling the amount of calories you're eating, you might stay at your current weight, or in some cases you might even lose weight because you're eating actually better food and better combination type of foods.
So what we have seen is that with 90% of women we work with, and while they are in the reverse dieting or the metabolic reset phase, 90% of them actually lose weight. That fat that
Wow.
body was holding on to because it was thinking, oh my God,
It's starting.
I'm gonna die. Let me hold on to all this fat. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
let go. Now you are getting nourished. So your body like, oh, this feels good. So we are gonna get food daily. It's not like we are going to be, dying tomorrow. So it will start to let go of uh, that fat. So what we have seen is like 90% of women actually lose weight, even though we are not expecting any weight loss during that phase. They
Yeah.
still lose weight. The rest 10% might gain a little bit. When I say little bit, we're talking about like in grams, hardly like 1 pound, 2 pounds maximum, nothing more than that, even though we have doubled the calories when they are like 2 or 3 weeks into the coaching. So don't be scared, you guys, okay? Please do not be scared to eat food because your body needs it. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that your body is going to prioritize your survival over anything else, okay? Your survival is the utmost important, so your hormones and everything is going to shift in a way to keep you alive.
Hmm.
So, if your goal is to lose weight, learn to nourish your body the right way so that it doesn't have to think about survival and it can work on other things like improving your fertility, balancing out your sex hormones, and eventually losing weight and things like that, right? Let's
Hmm.
refocus, reshift our focus from restriction to actually learning how to eat food guilt free so that your body can let go of that fat that it has been holding on to for years.
Yeah, I love that. I preach that all the time. I think it's so important. I think we need to really, really understand how our bodies run on the inside. It doesn't know that we're in 2023 and it's, or what are we now, 2024? But it doesn't know that we've got an abundance of food around. So if you're telling your body all the time that there's no food, it's going to start to preserve energy. It's going to start to lower that metabolism. Like it just causes so much harm. It's terrible. So I love that. And I love that you guys have proof with your clients, that you see this working, that, like you said, 90% of these women feel better and they're losing weight when that's not even the goal in the beginning,
Yeah.
from eating more food. Like that's such an important thing to drive home, I think, for every woman to hear, because I feel like there's so much eating disorder going on in today's day and age with food and dieting and the dogma, and it's terrible. But let's talk about stress and the impact of that on belly fat, because I think that that's a really big piece too for women, is that we're I think we're more stressed out than we've ever been before in history.
Mhm. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And stress is like one of the biggest contributors to belly fat too. Despite of what exercise you're doing, what diet you're following, if you're chronically stressed out for whatever reason, that belly fat is not going to go away. And another thing stress can also do to you is bring on more insulin resistance, because just think about it this way, your body, your brain is sensing an impending danger, right? There's a tiger when you're going for work. There's a tiger, right there, and the tiger wants to eat you. So what is your brain going to think? Oh my god, there's a tiger, let's run away from the tiger or just fight the tiger. Probably we are going to do the second thing, right? Like the first thing, like run away from the tiger.
Mhm.
So either in either of those cases, that is a flight or fight response, right? So there's a fight or flight response that has been initiated. So your brain is sending signals to all these little glands and asking those glands to, or sorry, the your glucose to go to the bloodstream. Because if you want to flee or if you want to fight, what do you need? You need energy.
Energy.
Where are we getting energy from? Glucose. So your glucose is all of a sudden being flooded to your bloodstream. So your bloodstream is nice and ready. And another thing that also happens is that blood is being like shunted away from all the other organs, and it goes to your lungs, right, and to your muscles, your larger muscles, so that you can run, right?
Mm.
So when you are chronically stressed out, all the other organs are getting deprived of blood. It's not getting enough oxygen so that it can function the way it can function. So one of the reason why people's infertility rates goes up and high when they're chronically stressed out, because your body is not thinking about reproduction at that point, right? Your body is only thinking about how can the body keep you alive, right? So those two
Mhm.
things happen when the stress hormone kicks in. So now you have all this glucose. So what we cannot have that glucose on our bloodstream for longer, because then we have something called hyperglycemia. It's fatal. You can even die with that. So now your body is sending signal to pancreas, hey, recruit more insulin so that we can clear all this glucose from the bloodstream. So your pancreas is like, okay, we're gonna recruit more insulin. Insulin is coming into your bloodstream. So this glucose has to go somewhere. Where is it going to go? They see those beautiful fat cells sitting there. It's going to go and hide in the fat cells. So your fat cell starts getting bigger and bigger, meaning most of our fat cells for women over the age of 35 around our tummy gets bigger and bigger, and we are stressed out. Oh my god, my tummy is getting bigger and bigger. So that's
Right.
adding stress. So it's not really helping the situation, right? So
No.
that is that is happening. So stress is a big contributor. And now your cells are like, oh my god, there's so much insulin, there's so much sugar in and around me. What am I going to do? I'm going to shut down both of them. Your cell become resistant to both insulin and glucose, and you need insulin so that your glucose can get into your cells, give it energy that it needs, and function the way it is supposed to function. Now that is completely shut down, and this is what is called pre-diabetes, you know.
Mm.
And when we have this chronically gone wrong, and there's more insulin coming in to help the glucose, and that cannot go into the blood, cells, now you have to have supplemental insulin. So now you've gotten into type 2 diabetes. So this is the cycle that happens with stress. So just imagine stress is diurnal, means it is supposed to go up in the morning so that we can wake up from our sleep, and is supposed to go down at night so that we can fall to sleep, right? So that's how stress is supposed to work, or cortisol is supposed to work. It's a good thing, it's not a bad thing.
Hmm.
But because of everything else happening in our life, now stress is always here throughout the day, 24 hours. And the
Hmm.
cycle that I just explained keeps on happening.
Yeah.
And fat gains, belly fat shows up. We are more stressed out about it, more belly fat. We are stressed out about our dog. Heck yeah, more belly fat, right? And we are stressed out. We had a fight with our husband. What is going to happen? Another stress response, another belly fat. So, stress plays a huge role, you guys. And
Hmm.
exercise to some point will help you with the stress reduction. There are so many other things you can do, like meditation, journaling, going out for walks. So managing your stress is the utmost important, especially when you're over the age of 35 and hormones are not in your favor. This is the time when you need stress management at the most
Hmm.
capacity. You
Yep.
need it. Otherwise, it's
Yep.
not going to do anything. It's only going to take you in the opposite direction of where you're trying to go.
Hmm. And I'm going to add to that too that cortisol is also catabolic. So
Yeah,
it's going to eat up your muscle,
exactly.
which then will make you even more insulin resistant and gain even more weight in the
Yeah,
belly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a real vicious circle. And I am a self-proclaimed stressful person. I just did a whole podcast episode about it. Like, I need to practice what I preach because I'm constantly telling all of my listeners and my clients and everybody, like, you've got to manage your stress. You have to manage your stress. And in the last year, I've been so bad with my stress and not managing it. So this year, I've committed to managing my stress and getting that as a top priority to, manage and get lower. And because I tested my cortisol, and yes, it was exactly what you just said. It was all just up here, just
Yeah,
straight up.
straight up there. Yeah.
It's terrible, terrible. Okay, so tell us a little bit about Metabolic Mastery. Is it a group coaching program or is it one-on-one? How long is it for?
Sure. So, Metabolic Mastery Method is a one on one coaching, because I
Okay.
feel, or we feel, that women over the age of 35 shouldn't be given a one size fits for all strategy, because it's
Hmm.
not going to work. Hence,
Hmm.
we personalize everything to everyone depending on where they are at, where they're trying to go, and what's the struggle that is keeping them stuck. So
Hmm.
it's highly customized to what you need. And
Hmm.
it's again, it's all about you learning how to manage your hormones, manage your stress, learn how to eat whatever you want that without affecting your results. And by the end of the coaching, people that work with us usually eat double the amount of food that they were eating before, and they learn how to manage or maintain their results even after the coaching ends, because I feel like that's an important piece too, because you can lose weight doing a whole array of things, right? But can you maintain that result by the least amount of work possible for the rest of your life?
Mhm.
That's where this step, the metabolic mastery method, comes to play, because I'm a person, like, I don't like putting effort in every single day. Okay.
Yeah,
I am very
me
lazy,
too.
let me tell you that. Okay. I like to be in my comfort zone. If you tell me to work out 1 hour every single day, I won't be able to do it. And if you ask
No,
me to
me
cut
neither.
my rice, I won't be able to do it. I'm a rice eater. 2 times a day, I eat my rice.
Yeah,
So those are some of the things I cannot live off of.
yeah.
So that's why we developed this method, because people has to learn how to live their own life stress free and still have an amazing body
Mhm,
that they're
mhm.
looking for. And that's what metabolic mastery is all about. And yeah.
Yeah, and you have, as I said before, a lot of before and after pictures, including of yourself,
Uh-huh.
and which I thought was like I was like, oh, good for her for putting herself out there. I just did personally for the first time at I was speaking at a big women's conference down in the United States in November, and my presentation, I showed my before and after for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was really hard for me to do because
Yeah.
it was when I hit menopause, I also like I packed on 15 pounds. You know, here I am, the nutritionist, the hormone coach, and I'm like, oh, this is happening to me. And it was really hard on my ego, really hard on me personally, all sitting in the belly. But the good thing about it is, and I think I should share this with you guys, is I kept wanting to diet. Like I started to go back into my old eating disorder patterns and think I better restrict calories. Maybe I'll do keto. Maybe I'll start fasting long. And then I just kept saying, like, no, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And so I shifted gears and I said, I'm not going to try and lose weight. I'm going to put efforts into building muscle and I'm going to prioritize protein and I'm going to replace my hormones and get them optimized. And lo and behold, it wasn't overnight, but I slowly but surely kept losing weight. And it was like I got a good 10 pounds off, which was amazing. And so that just kind of proves everything that you guys are just talking about. And it was, I did not restrict. I just focused on those two things.
Exactly. Like putting myself out there and putting my pictures out is was so vulnerable. Like I don't like seeing myself in the mirror in the first place, looking that way, let alone me posting my pictures all over the social media. And
Yeah.
it's there now. It's never, there's no going back. It's there, it's out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but again, like going back to what you said, Karen, is that even I don't want people to think that people who coach people how to lose weight, or people that has a great body, is not going to have bad days, or they're
Mhm.
completely always thinking that, oh my god, I'm great. No, like even me, when I am trying to lose my postpartum, my belly pooch with my second one, and I had no time counting calories and everything. I didn't do all of that. But when I was not seeing the results at the pace I wanted to see, I had these thinkings or thoughts in my mind, like, should I go back and do the low carb thing that I did years ago? Should I go back and do the intermittent fasting? Because this is
Mhm.
taking a long time and people are going to judge me because, hey, she's already 5 months postpartum. She should be already skinny now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
know.
had
Yeah.
these like thoughts in my mind which pulled me down at some point and few days, but then I kept saying to myself, like, you know doesn't matter you see results today, it is coming. Just
Mhm.
put in the right work in. Every
Mhm.
single day I reminded myself this: put the right work in. No matter what you see the results or not, you have to do this.
Mhm.
Okay, you have to trust the process and move forward. And 8 months postpartum, I even have abs that are popping, and I'm 1 year
Mhm.
postpartum now. So the point is, just do it. Okay, you are
Mhm.
going to have demons sitting in on both sides of your head
Yes.
saying not to do and go back to the old habits, but you are more stronger than any demons out there. Okay, you are the strongest demon out there. So
Yeah.
you can crush the other little demons that are that
Yeah.
are in your head. So I would
Yeah.
say do that and just trust the process, and you will get to the other end. The
Mhm.
testimonials
Mhm.
and everything that we put out there is not to brag about ourselves. It's not to toot
Mhm.
our horns. It is just to show you guys what is possible if you trust the process and put the work in.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, good for you. That's amazing. And that I went through all the same thing. It was like, I'm not seeing results. You feel like you start working out and you're like, well, I should have lost a pound by now because I've been
Yeah.
lifting heavy for a week. What's going on? And then you get really very impatient and it's really hard. And you hear that from a lot of clients too, where it's like, oh, I've just been working out, I feel like so much and I don't see any change. And it's like, just keep going, keep going. Let's keep putting the efforts in. So, anyways, I love you guys. It was and such a great conversation that I think every woman needs to hear, even if they've heard it before. Even for me, like listening to you guys talk about it was like, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's good for me to
Love
hear it
it.
again too, even though I
Yeah.
preach it all the time. And you guys have a great, very big Instagram account. So where can people find you? Website, Instagram, tell us everything, and I'll put
Yeah.
everything in the show notes as well.
Absolutely. So, Karen, I do really want to do something special for your audience because I loved talking with you in the first place. Let me tell you that. And I know that your audiences are equally sweet. So,
Yeah,
now what
they
I'm going
are.
to share with you guys, you cannot find anywhere else on the internet because this is typically something that we give out to only our paying clients. But since you guys stayed up until the end listening to our show today, I want you to you guys to have this for absolutely free. So what I call this is called the midlife metamorphosis kit. You know, it's going to be everything that we talked about in a kit today. Okay, so this will give you a 7-day workout plan with workouts that you can do under 30 minutes from home just 2 to 3 days a week. And this is perfect for busy moms out there who doesn't really have time to go to the gym like myself here. Not only that, but I've also given you an entire grocery list that will tell you exactly what foods to pick while you're in the grocery store and not tempted to take that Oreo and Snickers. Nothing wrong with them, but being a little bit more intentional so that we can
Yep.
navigate through that perimenopause with grace. Not only that, I know that protein is something that we talked about a lot today and muscle building. So I've also included 50 plus high protein recipes in this kit. And I want to give this absolutely free of charge. So just go to my Instagram page, which is Ann Maria Tom, and send me the word hormone solution. Okay, so once again, it's a midlife metamorphosis kit. Send me the keyword hormone solution on my Instagram at Ann Maria Tom, and I'll personally send it over to you guys. And also, please leave a 5-star rating and review for the
Yep.
Hormone Solution
Thank
podcast
you.
because amazing. You're doing such an
Amazing.
amazing job, Karen. You're bringing in amazing guests as well onto your show, and we're really
Yes.
honored to be a part of this conversation and your show. So yeah, guys, please rate her.
Thanks so much, you guys. It's been a real pleasure talking to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Same
you.
as well.